and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we are partway through our handmade Christmas with gifts and project ideas for the festive season. And this is number 8, and we're going to make today a little lip balm holder. So stocking fillers, things like that are always fun to give for Christmas. Now we're using, as I've been using right the way through, and the reason I'm doing this is to show you that from one pack of designer series paper or pattern paper, you can make so many different projects. So you don't need to get lots and lots of different ones. If you get a pack that is full of lovely colours, so in this one you can see we've got the lovely greens, we've got the reds, and we've got a neutral colour, they will then tone in with most of your Christmas projects. And today we are using as our embellishments the Sounds of the Season dies, which is a lovely stamp and die set which has lots of bells in. So I'm just going to show you the variety of bells. So you've got large bells, medium bells, small bells, and tiny weeny little bells. You also have the die cuts that will cut out of the stamp set, and you've got some little sprigs and things. So it's a lovely set. And once you've got it, you want to make the most of it. So that's why we're using the little tiny weeny bell. And I've cut 3 of those out of our brushed metallics. Now, the brushed metallics, I've got a little piece here. You can see they come in 12 by 12 sheets. And I cut mine down. And the reason I do that is because I can make sure that I use all of the tiny little spaces from this. So on this one, we can use absolutely everything. And you can see where I've cut different things out of it already. But the brushed gives you this lovely brushed look to it. So it's a little bit more subtle than normal sort of gold or silver foil. It's a really lovely brushed gold colour. So let us get started with this project. We first of all need to cut our 6 by 6 down, and we're going to cut it into 4 1/4 inches square. So 4 1/4 inches. And then turn it round and 4 1/4 inches. So you have some really good sized pieces over, and we're actually going to be using both of these pieces. So let me put that one out of the way. So this is our 4 1/4 piece, but we can use either one, but I'm going to use the shortest one. This will go for a strip on a card. So let's get our scoreboard out. And then I can put that in so you can see it. So we are going to score it. Which side am I going to have it on? I don't really know. I like both sides of this. I think I'm going to have it on the snowflakes one. So we are going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch. And 3 1/2 inches. Then we're going to turn it round, and both sides are the same, but we're going to score it at 1 inch, 1 3/4 inches, 2 1/2 inches, and 3 1/4 inches. And then that's all that we need from the scoreboard. So it's a very simple one, simple measurement, so you're not doing 1/8 of an inch and little bits like that. I've tried to make it sort of fairly straightforward on this one. And now we are going to burnish all of the scores. Now, this paper is not the easiest to actually see, but I'm sure you will get the gist of it. And it is a lovely paper. I love the fact that all our papers are double-sided, because with something like this, when you open it up, you're going to see the inside in it. So we want to make sure that it is you know, gives you a nice pattern on both sides. So I think that this will work beautifully with the little sort of spotty snowflakes on the outside and the lovely sort of foliage with the berries on the inside. Okay, so now we've got, if I fold it this way, you can see you've got lots of little squares. You've got 3 rectangles, and then you've got 2 larger rectangles, and you've got little ones down the side. Now we're going to take, very simply, all 4 of the corners. Let me see which side's easiest for you to see. I think this side. So we're going to take all 4 of the corners off. So quite simply, we're going to remove them. Now you can use those little pieces if you want to. They will fit little tiny dies, or you can just get rid of them. Depends how frugal you're being. And I think sometimes when we're doing our Christmas things, we get more and more frugal as the time goes by, because we want to try and keep the costs down, but make some lovely things as well. Okay, so we've taken all 4 corners off like that. So it now looks like this. And now we're just going to cut down these 3 little pieces that we've got at the side. So down each one of these score lines. And it's really difficult on this paper. We're just going to cut down on the score lines on that and turn it round and do the same on the other side. So it's a very simple one, but I think it looks quite effective. Okay, so that's our box part done. Now we're going to use a lip balm. Now you can buy all sorts of different lip balms. You can also buy them from the pound stores and the cheaper ones, and they're not quite as pretty as some of them. So I thought, why don't we wrap it and make it match what we've got on the inside? So I'm taking the piece that we had over. Both sizes are, I think they're both exactly the same size, are they? Yes, they are. They're both the same size, so it really doesn't matter which one. And we are going to wrap this. So what you need to do is to very sort of tightly just wrap it round so that it just comes over. And then you can see now different lip balms are going to be different sizes. So I'm not going to give you this exact measurement, but you want it to come over so that it comes, you know, with a little bit of a gap in there so that there's enough to sort of seal it. And I'm literally on this one just going to cut it straight down. If you've got large snips, you can do. Now, the reason why I'm rolling it first is it helps bend the fibre just a little bit because you want it to stick quite well. Okay, so for this, I'm literally using, you can use whatever you want. Tear and tape's probably a good thing to use, but I've got this Stampin' Seal Plus, which is supposed to be exceptionally strong. So what I'm doing is I'm going all the way around the edges. This is something you don't want to scrimp on the glue, because if you scrimp on it, then it's likely to pull apart, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just making sure that I have it quite a lot of glue on there. And then we are going to take it where we want. So this one is going to come sort of part way at the top and the bottom. Let me just have a look and see that that's where we want it. Yes. And then literally roll it really tightly, and with your fingers just sort of wrap it in. And then when we get up to our last little bit, just make sure that that's come in, and you can really sort of wrap it down. And what that does is it just gives a nice little piece, so that when you open it up, I'm not going to open it because it's sealed, but it just gives you a pretty little sort of pattern that's going to match the inside. Now we're going to then, let's start making our box. So we've done our little lip balm to go inside. And on this one, we are literally just going to put some tape down on these little corners like this. Oops. Okay, and then we can tuck. Oh, says me, I think I've done it the wrong way around on here, haven't I? I should have done one in underneath, but never mind, we'll use some. Okay, so put your tape in on one side and not on the other. I've got the tape on the other side, but I think we can probably sort that out with something. Okay, so you've got that side done. And then we just need to, I've just put the glue in on here. So all you do is you put one piece inside and up on the other. Because it's designer series paper, it is quite easy to do. And then you can put the other one on top or underneath. It really doesn't matter as long as you put them. Okay, so I've now got two sticky ends, so I'm going to have to put something on those ends. And I'm just going to take these little tiny pieces and I'm just going to glue them straight in over the top. So, that'll give me a little bit of extra strength on the ends. Not that I need them, but it also means if you do make mistakes, don't sweat about them too much and just find a way to rectify them. So that's how I'm rectifying it, and very easily I'm then just going to snip off these edge bits. Let's have a look, because I think they're the same size, so I'm just going to very quickly just snip this off. Like that on that side. And like that on that side. So as I say, that's because I just put too much glue in when I didn't need it. Okay, so that's our little box done quite nicely. And then we can put our little lip balm inside, which matches perfectly. And if you sort of pinch the top and push it down a bit, you get just a little bit of a sort of a crease on there. So we're going to do some decorating. I need to make sure that this is closed nicely. So I'm going to get my crocodile, and we're just going to put a little bit of ribbon through on here. You can tie it with whatever you want. You can do it with a clip or a, let me just take the lip balm out for a minute and then we'll get on to decorating it. So make sure that your top pieces are together, and then I'm literally just going to eyeball it. So I'm just going to go into the center like this, and I just want to do, in fact I need to do it that way, don't I, so I don't get it in on the other side. So let's just take it through on here. Take it up where I want it. I'm making a bit of a pickle of this, aren't I? Okay, I just didn't want the other side to go in on there. I don't think it will. So we're just going to make a hole in the center like that. There we go. And so a little hole punch or something like that, you can do that with. And then we're just going to put a little bit of, this is my last little piece of the seam binding, the crinkle ribbon. I absolutely love this ribbon, and I might even end up getting some more. I've just got a little bit of tape on the end of that, which is literally the end bit of the ribbon, but I think I can take that, just take that little bit off of there. Okay, right, so we've got our piece of ribbon. Now it's down to decorating it. Now what I've done is I have taken a little Merry Christmas from the postage, where is it, Festive Post. I must admit I really like this because it coordinates with the rectangular punches you've seen me do some projects with. but it has nice little tiny sentiments that fit perfectly on little projects. So you've got a Merry Christmas, enjoy the season to you and yours. And they, as I say, fit perfectly on here. Now I'm going to put these down with, let's just, as I've got this out, I'm going to just put it down with the tape, and I'm going to put it down in on this side, just in the center. So you've got a little Merry Christmas. And then I turned around and said that I'd done these little bells, and I really do like them. They're ever so sweet. You've got a little piece in there. You could string them up onto something, but I'm just going to add them as little embellishments on here, and I'm hoping I might be able to put one on the, let's get this little piece out. Right, we're going to put these two on here. So I need just some little dimensionals. Let me get my dimensionals out in my box and see. Right, we want the minis in here. So we'll get those out. And I'm just going to put two of them, I think. One either side of each other. So let's put that up. And then we can have one like that. And we can have the other one like that next to it. So you've got two little bells that are quite pretty. And then I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I wonder if I can get, just to make it look, oops, you have to excuse the noise, my neighbour's dog is out, it's the weekend, and he's just taking, his dogs make a huge amount of noise and my little dog follows, so you'll have to excuse them. Now, I've done this before and I've just taken a tiny little strip, so this is literally going to be less than 1/8 of an inch, just a little tiny strip that comes down on there. And I'm just going to see, it might work, it might not, but I just thought it might just make this look. Why don't we just take a little, if I wrap that round there like that in the middle, and then put the little bell in on the center. It says me, I can't pick it up. Oh, my fingers sometimes don't work very well. Okay, so if I put that in on the center, that will work. That needs to come smaller than that. That's too big. We want just a tiny weeny. I can use that on something else, but we want the tiniest little sliver. You could even use a little bit of ribbon if you wanted to, but I'm literally doing the smallest sliver that I can do. So let's just literally, we just want that's better. We want a tiny weeny little piece of this, because that then will go across round here. Perfect. That just makes it look a little bit fancier. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to use my wet glue on this because I know that my wet glue will stick it. So let's let me grab some wet glue. Right. So if I just take a little bit of this wet glue and run it down here, we're then going to have just a little piece like that. And as I say, I'm doing it with wet glue. I could have done it with double-sided the sticky sheets, but because we're just using this tiny little bit, so I'm going to start it at the seam on there, and I'm just running it round in, whoops, I just want to run it round in the center like this so that it just goes right the way across. Try and get it relatively straight. hold it down as we go. Put that piece on. Now obviously wet glue takes a little bit longer, but with it being so fine, we should just be able to attach it. Put this bit across on here, like that, and then that can just go in on there. So hold it just for a second for it to go down. That looks pretty. And then I might need to just put a little extra bit of glue on there, but that should be all right. So then we're going to take the other little bell, and I just need to poke its little centre out. There we go. And then that's going to go in on top. And again, I'm going to do that with a dimensional because I think that that will work quite well. So we can then put that little bell, and I'm only putting one bell because I think if you put any more it might sort of fall out. So put that on there and just make sure that that sticks nicely, which it does. So you've then got the little lip balm that fits perfectly inside and makes a rather pretty little holder. And then we can just put this, my last little bit of ribbon. You could do it with twine, you could do it with all sorts of things. I'm, as I say, just going to do it with a little bit of the ribbon coming through here, and then we'll just tie that up into a little bow. Not the best at tying bows, but we'll have to see because it's quite small, this, so it'll either work. This has always been quite forgiving, this ribbon, so we'll just see whether it'll come through or not. There we go. Whoops. Not the greatest bow, but once I've given it a bit of a zhuzh around, it should work itself out. So you have a rather pretty little lip balm box, which makes a lovely little gift for a stocking stuffer, or you know, just for anybody really. And because we've made it a little bit fancier, when you open it, you've got, I do need to retie that bow, so I'm quite happy to reopen it. When you open it up, you can see you've got this lovely coordinating, oh, I've got glue on my fingers, coordinating little lip balm inside. So as I say, you know, you don't have to worry about buying the expensive lip balms. You can have just a little one like that, and it works perfectly with the little box. So thank you so much for watching me. Please, if you haven't done, do look at subscribing, because I'm doing these back-to-back videos for Christmas, which are all different projects and things for you to complete. And I'm doing them in November, so it gives you plenty of time to get them made yourself before the festive season. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, stay safe and stay well and be kind. Bye-bye.